You were never told the truth about what your shampoo is doing to your gray hair. You've been washing with these products for years, sometimes decades, trusting the names on the bottle. But chronic exposure to certain ingredients is now linked to scalp damage, accelerated thinning, and hair you cannot get back. The brands knew. They kept selling anyway. In 2021, Reuters reported on federal lawsuits alleging that formaldehyde-releasing preservatives in major shampoo lines caused widespread hair loss and scalp injury. Today, you will learn which 8 brands to avoid immediately and 3 safer swaps that can help protect what remains. Number 1. OGX. This is the brand that broke something in thousands of women who trusted it. You picked it off the shelf because of the exotic packaging, the promises of coconut milk and argan oil, the idea that you were finally treating your hair to something premium. You used it for years. You recommended it to friends. And the entire time, something was happening that nobody warned you about. In 2021, federal courts consolidated lawsuits against OGX into a multi-district litigation. The allegations were devastating. Consumers reported hair falling out in clumps, scalp burns, irritation that would not stop. At the center of these claims was DMDM hydantoin, a preservative that slowly releases formaldehyde over time. Reuters investigated and reported on the growing legal filings between 2021 and 2023. The complaints kept coming. Gray hair is not the hair you had at 30. It is thinner, drier, more fragile at the root. The follicles producing it are weaker, slower to recover, and far more reactive to chemical stress. When a formaldehyde-releasing preservative meets an aging scalp, the result is not just irritation. It is accelerated damage to hair that cannot afford to lose a single strand. This formula was never updated for women whose biology changed. You aged. The product did not, and every wash delivered the same. Chemical load to a scalp that was becoming more vulnerable by the year. You trusted this brand while it slowly weakened the very hair you were trying to protect. Number 2. Tresm. The salon quality promise. The sleek black bottles. The idea that professional results could come from a drugstore aisle. Tresm built its reputation on making women feel like they were getting something better than the average shampoo. But between 2020 and 2022, class action lawsuits told a different story. Bloomberg Law and Reuters covered the filings extensively. The claims centered on the same formaldehyde-releasing preservative found in OGX. Consumers alleged scalp inflammation, hair shedding that would not stop, damage that accumulated over months and years of loyal use. Your gray hair follicles are not as resilient as they once were. Chronic low-dose irritation does not bounce off an aging scalp. It accumulates. It compounds. Every application adds to the stress load on follicles already, struggling to produce healthy hair. The carrot in these products promised to restore was being undermined by the very formula delivering it. The women filing these lawsuits were not careless. They were consistent. They used the product exactly as directed, wash after wash, year after year. And that consistency became their exposure, years of damage, one wash at a time. Number 3. Pantene. This is one of the most recognized names in hair care. Generations of women grew up seeing Pantene commercials, watching models flip impossibly shiny hair, believing that this was the gold standard. Your mother may have used it. You may have started using it as a teenager and never stopped. In 2021, Pantene found itself named in federal class action lawsuits alongside the other major brands. Bloomberg Law and Reuters reported on the allegations. The same formaldehyde-releasing preservative, the same pattern of consumer complaints about scalp sensitivity, dryness, and shedding. Postmenopausal scalps do not process chemical exposure the way younger skin does. The protective barrier is thinner. Cell turnover is slower. Recovery takes longer. Repeated exposure to formaldehyde-releasing preservatives on this kind of scalp is not a minor inconvenience. It is a sustained assault on tissue that has already lost much of its resilience. One of the most trusted names in hair care is now under serious scrutiny. The shine it promised came with a cost that took decades to reveal. Number 4. Herbal Essences. The branding could not be more reassuring. Botanicals, natural extracts, the suggestion that this shampoo came from a garden rather than a chemical plant. Herbal Essences positioned itself as the gentler choice, the one you could feel good about using on sensitive hair. But the 2021 multi-district litigation included Herbal Essences alongside the other major brands. Reuters and consumer safety law outlets covered the filings. The allegations were the same: formaldehyde-releasing preservatives, consumer complaints of scalp damage and hair loss. Aging scalp skin is thinner and more reactive than it was in your 20s and 30s. Chronic irritation from repeated chemical exposure does not just cause temporary discomfort. It can worsen dryness, increase flaking, and accelerate shedding in hair that is already fragile. Gray hair cannot afford this kind of stress. Clean branding, chemical reality. The botanical imagery on the bottle had nothing to do with what was happening on your scalp. Number 5. Head & Shoulders, anti-dandruff lines. If you have ever dealt with flaking, itching, or scalp discomfort, you have probably reached for Head & Shoulders. It is the default solution, the brand everyone knows, the one sitting in nearly every shower in America. But in 2021, the European Commission made a decision that should have changed everything. Zinc pyrithione, a key active ingredient in Head & Shoulders anti-dandruff formulas, was banned in the European Union. The European Commission classified it as toxic to aquatic life and a suspected endocrine disruptor. The precautionary principle that guides European safety standards said no. But in the United States, the product stayed on shelves. Same formula, same ingredient, different regulatory threshold. Gray hair scalps are more sensitive, more reactive, more easily thrown into cycles of dryness and inflammation. Harsh antifungal agents designed to kill yeast on the scalp do not discriminate. They strip. They irritate. They can worsen the very conditions they claim to treat in women whose scalp biology has fundamentally changed. Still sold here, even after Europe said no. Number 6. L'Oréal Elvivve. The promise is irresistible. Total repair, color care. The idea that damaged gray hair can be restored to something vibrant and healthy with the right product. L'Oréal is one of the most powerful names in beauty, and Elvivve is marketed as a solution for women whose hair needs serious help. But the Environmental Working Group's ingredient hazard scoring reports, published between 2019 and 2023, tell a different story. Synthetic fragrance blends in these products carry high risk ratings for irritation and allergenic response. The silicones designed to create shine can build up on hair over time, coating each strand in a layer that blocks moisture from penetrating. Gray hair is already prone to yellowing, dullness, and brittleness. When it becomes coated in heavy residues that seal out hydration, the problems compound. The shine you see in the mirror is not healthy hair. It is a plastic-like film sitting on top of strands that are slowly suffocating underneath. Look shiny while slowly suffocating your hair. Number 7. Nexus. Nexus positions itself as the salon professional choice. The formulas are rich, the bottles are elegant, and the promise is luxury-level care for damaged hair. Women with gray hair often turn to Nexus hoping for deep moisture and repair. But the EWG Skin Deep database analysis from 2020 to 2023 identified significant concerns: heavy silicone loads, high fragrance allergen scores, ingredients that contribute to chronic buildup and scalp congestion over time. Aging follicles need oxygen, they need circulation, they need a clear path to produce healthy new hair. When the scalp becomes congested with residue that accumulates wash after wash, that pathway gets blocked. Healthy regrowth slows, thinning accelerates. The hair that does grow comes in weaker, more fragile, less able to withstand daily stress. Soft today, thinning tomorrow. Number 8. Clairol Shimmer Lights. If you have gray, silver, or white hair, you have probably been told you need a purple shampoo to combat brassiness and yellowing. Shimmer Lights is one of the most popular options, a go-to recommendation in salons and online forums alike. The violet pigments promise to neutralize warm tones and keep your gray looking cool and bright. But Consumer Reports hair care testing in 2020 identified a problem: excessive pigment loading, drying detergent systems, a formula designed to deposit color that strips moisture in the process. Gray hair is already moisture deficient. The natural oils that once kept your hair soft and pliable have decreased with age. When you wash with a product that overstrips what little moisture remains, the result is not just dryness, it is brittleness, breakage, hair that snaps instead of bends, fixing yellow while destroying softness. Transition to safer alternatives. The damage is not irreversible, and your routine does not have to stay this way. What follows are 3 alternatives that approach gray hair with the gentleness it actually requires. These are not sponsored recommendations, and there is no affiliation or partnership with any of these brands. These suggestions come from research and personal experience only. If this information is helping you see your products differently, consider subscribing so you do not miss what comes. Next, Briogeo Be Gentle, Be Kind. Shampoo. This is what relief feels like. No sulfates stripping your scalp raw, no formaldehyde-releasing preservatives quietly damaging your follicles, no heavy fragrance loads triggering sensitivity you did not have 10 years ago. Briogeo designed this formula with restraint, and that restraint is exactly what aging gray hair needs. The brand carries EWG verified certification, one of the most rigorous clean beauty standards available. Dermatologists have recommended it in publications like Allure and Birdie between 2022 and 2024. This is not a niche product with unproven claims. This is a formula that has been vetted by experts who understand what sensitive scalps require. Your gray hair will not feel stripped after washing. Your scalp will not sting or tighten. The dryness that made you reach for heavier conditioners will start to ease because the shampoo itself stopped causing the problem. The honest limitation is price. This is a premium product, and it costs more than the drugstore brands you have been using. But consider what you have been paying for all these years. Consider what those cheaper products may have cost your hair. Vanicream Free and Clear Shampoo. If your scalp has become reactive, if you have developed sensitivities you never had before, if every new product seems to cause irritation, Vanicream is the reset button. The ingredient list is so minimal it almost seems incomplete. No fragrance, no dyes, no parabens, no sulfates, no formaldehyde releasers, nothing that your aging scalp does not absolutely need. The National Eczema Association has endorsed this formula. Dermatologists recommend it specifically for severely sensitive and allergy-prone scalps. For postmenopausal women whose skin has changed in ways they did not expect, Vanicream offers something rare, a shampoo that does not make things worse. This is not a glamorous product. It will not smell like a tropical vacation or leave your hair feeling coated in silk. The honest limitation is that it is not cosmetically luxurious. But if your priority is protecting your scalp from further damage, Vanicream delivers exactly what it promises, and nothing your body cannot handle. Rahua Classic Shampoo. For gray hair that has become dry, brittle, and desperate for shine, Rahua offers something different. Natural surfactants that clean without stripping, no sulfates, no synthetic fragrance, transparent sourcing that lets you trace exactly where the ingredients come from. The formula carries Cosmos Natural certification and has been featured by Dermstore and Allure in their clean beauty reviews. This is a product designed for hair that needs restoration, not further assault. Gray hair loses shine not because it lacks silicone coatings, but because it lacks moisture and structural integrity. Rahua works with your hair's natural texture instead of masking damage under a layer of film. The result is softness that comes from health, not chemistry. The honest limitations are significant. This shampoo is expensive, and it is not available everywhere. You may need to order it online or seek out specialty retailers. But for women whose gray hair has been through years of exposure to harsh formulas, Rahua offers a path back to something that looks and feels genuinely healthy. What to do with this information now? Go to your shower right now and read the labels. Look for DMDM hydantoin. Look for fragrance listed without specifics. Look for zinc pyrithione if you are using anti-dandruff products. These are the ingredients that have been accumulating on your scalp while you trusted the brands selling them. Remove the products that appear on this list. Do not wait until the bottle is empty. Do not convince yourself that occasional use is fine. Your gray hair cannot afford the continued exposure, and your scalp has been sending signals you may have been ignoring for years. Replace what you remove with formulas designed for sensitivity. Start with one of the 3 alternatives above, or find others that meet the same standards. Look for EWG verification. Look for dermatologist endorsements. Look for short ingredient lists with nothing to hide. Your hair did not fail you. These products failed your hair. Now you know. Watch another video on this channel to keep learning what the beauty industry does not want you to understand. Subscribe so you never miss the information that protects your health. Stay safe.